Post.
Hey, Steve. This is twofold. One, I was just trying to see what Jeff's status is. And secondly, how do you, what things can you do to get this game played more at a pace up and down that's conducive to winning, as opposed to the slower pace of the last game?
Jeff still got a chance, but he's got to go through his whole thing and see if he's available. So I don't have any new news on that yet. And then the pace is interesting. You know, they really want to play with pace. So sometimes it's not, it's not so much that we play with as much pace as they do. Just traditionally this season, it's about whatever. We have the versatility to play either way. I think we missed shots that we could have made to, get us to 90 or 100 points in the last game. We be a little sharper, a little better execution, and no matter what pace the game goes to, we feel confident that we can adapt and play at that pace.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Steve, I also wanted to ask about the pace. Is there something you have been able to do in particular to slow them down from the pace they played with in the regular season? Or have you seen anything from them that indicates they want to play at a slower pace?
No, I think they want to get out in transition and attack. It seems that they like, they like their guys to isolate in transition and attack the basket. I think we've limited our turnovers. We scored the ball pretty well in the first two games, so that'll slow teams down. And then we've done just a decent job getting back, just being aware and conscientious of transition opportunities and getting back and setting our defense.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hey, Steve, a James question for you. Yesterday, you said he's been making progress, and you said the other day he's been making progress. I'm just wondering if you could define what progress is, what he's able to do, what his treatment looks like now.
I'm not sure I can answer. I'm just going off of how's James doing. Good. He's getting better. So I ask him, and he says he's feeling better, doing better. I ask the staff. They say, yeah, he's getting better. So I don't know if I can detail what that is fairly, but he is on the court. He's doing some shooting, some movement, his rehab, and he's progressing in the right direction. But I don't know exactly what he's capable of right now. I think he's still in that area where he's got a little gap to make up, but he's getting closer. So it's been positive.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Steve, I have two clarifying Jeff questions. Was he able to practice yesterday? And if he were to play, would you expect any restrictions on him?
Well, I don't think we, expect him to play, a ton of minutes. I think we got to see how he looks and feels if he's available and see how it goes. He hasn't played for a couple of weeks. He was on the court the last couple of days, but, still in a kind of controlled environment. So I think a lot of unknowns there still. It'd be nice to have him back for sure, but we're not sure what, he can do and manage and how sharp he'll be. But, we hope that we have the options.
Christian Winfield with New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, you guys played some seriously good defense in that second quarter, but what's it going to take for you guys to actually come out playing that type of defense and not waiting to be down 21 to actually start locking in on that end of the floor?
Well, I think we have to be ready for their first hit. They're going to come out at home and be aggressive. They need this game, and for us, we just have to come out with the right intensity and approach, and try to hit them equally as they hit us to start the game. It's just about getting into the game as quickly as possible, and we struggled with that. We couldn't find our rhythm or our best level in that first quarter, and it just took too long. So hopefully it's right from the gate, but if it's not, can we find it quickly and recover, and play well relatively early.
Back to Brian Lewis.
Hey, Steve, not to beat a dead horse, I'm just curious whether the trainers or performance team or what have you have told you even what sort of benchmark James needs to clear. Can you at least give us an idea what that benchmark is that you need or they need to see from him before he can go out and play?
Well, just going off of the last couple occurrences with his hamstring, it's a certain amount of continual high intensity loads. So when he's able to get up to full speed and do it, 2 or 3 days without recurrence or a setback, then I think that's kind of the markers.
Chris Mulholland with Nets Daily.
Hey, Coach, when you looked over Game 3 and you saw the physicality and everything, what would you want to see out of your team in that category with the physicality tonight? And what could have stood out, or what could you think you could have done more in Game 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were physical. I think we've been physical throughout the series. We got to match that or win that battle. But, I thought it felt watching the game that they took us out of things. And I think they did. You have to give them some credit. But when you look at the film, you realize how many looks that we missed as well. So, I'm not saying that their defense doesn't deserve credit or that they can't replicate that type of effort. But at the same time, I think it'd be odd for us to score under 90 points. Again, so part of it is executing, part of it is poise, part of it is taking forward with us the experience from Game 3, being ready to match that intensity and physicality from the start. And then the last part of it is just stepping up and making shots, finding a rhythm and confidence that our team usually has.
Matt Brooks with Nets Daily.
Hey, Steve, you got some good stuff giving Kevin and Bruce an empty side of the floor in the first half, and then we didn't see much of that in the second half. Was that something that the Bucks were doing defensively that kind of provoked that change?
Yeah, I mean, I think those situations were happening pretty randomly. It wasn't necessarily something we were going to. I think our team, we push for a certain amount of randomness. We want our team to be reading and reacting, playing off one another, not necessarily being predictable. So sometimes we get to places that it looks like we might have pushed that button, but really we've asked them to play in a template and to play out certain sets with certain ideas and principles, but not necessarily trying to go straight at that. But I thought Bruce did a really good job finishing and being a dynamic roller and making plays out of it, and Kevin was finding him for a good stretch there. But those things typically they're going to start taking some of that away from you anyway. So you have to have diversity and be able to react and do other things as well.
Last question, Ajayi Brown with NetsWire.
Hey, Steve. So last game, even towards the end, everybody kept going to Joe Harris for shots, and he was 1 for 11 on the night. What does it mean, as a player, to know that your teammates still trust you to knock down those type of shots, but you just have an off shooting night, but the trust is there? Yeah,
I mean, Joe's had very few off shooting nights the whole season. He's an elite shooter. Our team always thinks the next one's going in with Joe. So if we can get him 11 shots or more every night, we would take that. And we all believe in him and know that, he's one of the very best out there. So he's a tough customer, and I think mentally he's strong enough to handle this. And we have a lot of confidence in him for sure.
Thanks so much, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.